hard just holding on, ain't even picking up my phone. It's hard enough to be, hard enough to.
Yo, welcome to the Reach Podcast Show with LeVar Ellis. We are always here every Thursday live from 10:30 to noon. As you can see up on the screen, we have another wonderful queen that is joining us today, and this is another edition and the kickoff to Women's History Month. We're going to be celebrating some wonderful ladies this month, and this show here, I wouldn't want it to be with anybody else. So you guys stay tuned, lock in with us. And we're going to just join you guys on the screen and say happy Thursday. We're hit the wrong button. Appreciate everybody that's tuning in. We thank you guys for joining us again. We have She's So Cold joining us on the show today. So say what's up to everybody. She's So Cold.
Good morning. This is She's So Cold.
Absolutely. So you guys know this is another edition of the Reach Podcast Show. And like I said, we are celebrating Women's History Month. I keep wanting to say Black Women's History Month because that's what it's going to be on this show. All our ladies are going to be black, but we are definitely celebrating Women's History Month. No, what they say, nothing against anybody else that's outside of our race that's doing their thing. But I definitely want to highlight our beautiful queens. That's what it's all about for me. So if I have 2 slots open, if you want to come on the show and you have a story that you feel like you want to tell, please hit me up at the Reach Podcast Show on Instagram or on Facebook. This is where we tell the stories of the community and also those people that are driving those stories. That's what we do here. So again, thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining this platform. And another thing I like to do really, really quick, we're going to make this part short because we have some amazing things to celebrate and talk about today. But I can't do it without recognizing my show sponsors. So I definitely want to give a huge shout out to you guys and for everything that you do for this platform and allowing us to keep going forward. First, I'd have to definitely shout out Dad Chronicles, and that is my nonprofit, my 501c3. And this show was designed to actually be the voice of that nonprofit. But after we got started, it just grew into its own beast of its own. And so now it's its own business. And so still the voice of the nonprofit, but, it's just moving along in a different fashion. So one announcement I like to make is that we're celebrating women right now, but fathers, we're right around the corner. So the biggest fundraiser for me for the year is going to be on Father's Day weekend in June. We're having our mental health and walk, raising awareness about men's health, right? And so we want everybody involved, women, children, boys, girls, whoever you are. If you can form a team, and pick somebody that you want to support and raise money for that individual and also raising money for this nonprofit because we're doing some amazing things in the community. Big shout out to all of my guys that came out for the chess club. We kicked off the relaunch of the chess club last week. It was an amazing time. And we're going to be doing it every other week this time. We're not going to kick it off and do it every week this time. But big shouts out to Take the Wheel food restaurant. They allowed us to host it over there, and it was a really, really, really good time. I can't believe I took that flyer down. But anyway, I will be posting information about that. We will be back on March 13th. That'll be the next time that we'll get connected with the chess club, and we're teaching the 10 principles of chess and how that relates to life. So if you want to be part of that, come out and get connected with us. It's 15054 Highway 6 at Take the Wheel Restaurant. That's where we'll be. Big shouts out to all of my people over there. So we appreciate you guys for all that you're doing there. So another company definitely is where we're at, right? We are at the Black Store right here at 8616 Cullen. We definitely want to give a huge shout out to the co-owners, my man Randy and Lloyd, for all the amazing things that they're doing. We were out at the polls this past week on what was this? Today's Thursday, so that was Tuesday, I think it was. We were out at the polls on Tuesday for the last day for you to get your votes in, educating the community. We were at TSU. That was our post, and we're trying to get all our youngsters to understand the importance of making your voice count and your vote count. So we appreciate everybody. And we actually got some good news because we had a couple ladies actually win the election, for people that we were backing and encouraging our students to vote for. Can't tell you who to vote for, but a little encouragement doesn't hurt, right? So big shouts out to the Black Store and everything that they're doing. If you haven't been here, you definitely want to come and give them a huge shout out. 8616 Cullen. It's at Cullen and Belford, right on the corner behind the Burger King. So come give these guys a salute. And they are co-owners of the, I guess, the only Black beauty supply here in Houston. And it is an experience. So it's the Black Store, the beauty shop, beauty supply experience is what they say. And it's definitely an experience when you come over here. Big shouts out to my girl, Des, who's in the audience. She'll definitely be somebody that you'll see and you'll greet if you come at the time that she's here. Another company, definitely want to give a huge shout out to my family over at Honey Beyond Studios. Thank you guys for allowing this last Friday poetry night that we host every month to be held in y'all space, man. It was a good time. Great feedback, as y'all already know. Y'all told me. And again, we're going to be right back over there March 25th this month, end of this month. And again, we're going to be celebrating our queen. So if any of you poets out there want to get connected, want to talk, want to perform, this young lady is going to have a huge thing to do with it. She don't know it yet, but she's going to be part of it.
Already accepted.
It's going to be an amazing time. We're getting better and better every time. And we're going to talk about some things you got going on with Puff Poetry. She has her own platform. So we'll get into all those details later, but definitely want to put this logo up for the fam. If you need a space, a venue to host a party, to have a wedding reception, a birthday party, a quinceañera, whatever, just a baby shower, anything that you need, it is a blank canvas, and you can turn that space into whatever you want it to be. So we encourage you guys to hit them up over at Honey Beyond Studio and just have a good time with your venue. Very great space. So you would not be disappointed by going over there. So we're going to keep it short right there and, just move the show right along because, like I said, we have some things that we want to get into and discuss. But before we do this, man, honoring a queen that is at the top of my list, man, when it comes to just genuine people, good vibes, good time, and just wants to just love on people in every space and every opportunity that she is. And that's none other than our word mortician. And I want to say a happy birthday to Miss Tiffany Word Mortician Scales. We'll bring her up here in just a minute, but let's just give her a round of applause. Happy birthday. We appreciate you. And so what I'm going to have you do here, let me put up a couple graphics so everybody can see your beautiful face and just understand. If you haven't seen her, you definitely want to connect, and I'll allow you to, talk about a little bit of what you have going on. So again, let's give it up for Tiffany, the Word Mortician Scales. I'm going to bring her into the shot. Come on up here. And she is doing some wonderful things with Long Live the Arts. I'll let you sit right there. Let me grab chair.
Yeah, I get to sit by. She's so cool.
Yes.
Welcome.
So I'm gonna just stand up right here. So I'm gonna change this logo right here. But we want to have you say hello to everybody, and we're gonna say happy birthday to Tiffany. That's what we're gonna do. Just happy birthday to you. I appreciate everything you do.
Birthday.
And you could not make it this past poetry night. So this is for you. And I want you to pull that placard out of there. And this is why I was being sneaky and wanted you to come here today. Because, all of our other poets, they received this that night. They received that this night. I just want to read it if you don't mind me reading it. So I guess I need to get in the shot then, don't I? Let me get in that shot.
Is that juice or mimosa?
It's probably a little bit of both. So let me come in here in the shot if I can. Turn this camera really quick.
You want me to hold it on?
Oh, no, it's good. So definitely want to let everybody see the plaque, the award that she got. A few other people received this. It says, Houston celebrates the poetic maverick. Unorthodox, unbridled, and unbowed to we honor and appreciate the life of passion and consistent work for Houston's own poetic mavericks. And of course, she received one as well.
Thank you.
And then this one is dedicated to you, Tiffany, the Word Mortician Scales. So thank you. You are doing some amazing things. And I just wanted to have an opportunity to be in the same space with you and tell you happy birthday. And you can shout out to everybody on Instagram too. Let them see. So let people know what you do. I'll put, a couple of your logos back up here, and you can just talk about what you got going on. And I know you have an event on tomorrow,
I do,
which I will be at.
I'm so grateful you're going to be there. You're all welcome to come. So I stopped performing a few years ago, but I will still present my gift where I feel my spirit is led. And I'm able to do that on the Reach podcast and in certain capacities with She's So Cold next month. I'm super excited about that. But tomorrow I am inviting people to celebrate life with me just by taking some deep breaths. And so I have some incredible healers, Reiki practitioners, some drummers from the city that I just find to be the most life-giving experience. So if you haven't experienced it live or just a healing experience at all, come see me.
Absolutely.
It'll be at 724 West 27th Street, right by Through Good Coffee in the Heights. And it's guaranteed that you will leave knowing how to breathe effectively. And I'm pretty sure most of y'all do it shallow. Take a deep breath. You exhale kind of quick. But when you take a deep breath in for 3 seconds and you exhale for 6 times in 60 seconds, you change your life. You change the way that you embrace things and the way that you release things. And so my goal is to make sure I teach you how to do it effectively. That way we can all have peace on earth without being laid to rest.
That's amazing.
Do you have a flyer for that?
Actually, I do.
Okay, I would like.
And I will airdrop the info to you. It's on Eventbrite.
Yes.
But the flyer with the word meditation, that's the image, because I'm driving art. So my car has my plate. I have a vanity plate. You see me in the city.
Yes,
you'll see word meditation.
Yes.
But everything I do drives art. I am the founder of the Arts Advocate. I advocate the culmination and cultivation of creativity for all of us. And I know the power of getting a mic, but I also know the power of utilizing your throat chakra now. So I'm just like, yo, let's get aligned and let's use what we're doing. And shout out to Free K, because she do that all day.
Yeah.
I love you.
Big shouts out to Free K.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's amazing, man. I just want to say again, express the gratitude I have towards you. And every time, we come into the same space, you speaking those awesome words, and so I just wanted to make sure on this born day that you are celebrated and you feeling good about it. And I know you gotta get out of here and go. So I just want to say
for my mama, y'all.
That's
thank
what's
you
up.
to her.
That's what's up. Did you want to say anything as far as
y'all want a poem?
if you feel led to?
You want to be a part of my poem?
Absolutely, please.
Okay.
I receive it. I love this. Okay. It's the best part.
It's the best part.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we take this deep breath, I know 3 out of 5 know what we're doing, but I want you to release whatever's in your hand as we release whatever's in your body. We're going to inhale for 3 seconds, and I will tell you to let it go. And you're literally going to think about the slowness of your exhale. Then you'll do what I say, and we'll have some fun. And then I'm going to go. 1, 2, 3. Take a deep breath in. And slowly exhale. Give me a word.
Love.
Black sheep. Give me a word.
Integrity.
My mind is so confined by the spaces my thoughts have traveled. The entitlement of those I've been exposed to realize what it's like to travel past the essence of hope, because we know what it is to let go, but see, love puts in a place of being so cold with our tongue that we allow ourselves to understand the beauty of being able to articulate eloquently the ways in which we are able to express ourselves so freely. Free K gives us the knowledge to allow ourselves to climb higher, because we know what it is to reach past the podcast and get to a space where my eyes can lock with strangers and relate on things we've been through and come to know, because black sheep ain't the ones to be upheld, but more so the ones shunned from tables. But we know we be the table. She told us on stage at Local Seat. We get to a place to realize how we can greet so many spaces and understand how 100% tired only means we have time to be fed. And my goal is to make sure that you digest something worth ingesting, because the media will feed you what you eat, but this media will give you a platform to speak life. Be so cold with it. Understand how your cold is more so the strength of warmth, because you breathe life into people as you breathe life into souls, and you understand what it is to know what you're doing. See, I used to play with it, get on the mic and be free, but when I realized I had a powerful tongue, I used to do it so freely. Now I speak slow because I need you to see me. I need you to watch the words come from me, because it's amazing how we always think, oh, she must have wrote that this morning. But no, it is in the essence of knowing that it's just coming so freely. I be like water, true Pisces, all suns and rising. But even the essence of knowing that my nodes be in Gemini, so I understand the split of the shift. But even the personalities that split, because I get it. We are so emotionally constipated, don't have those spaces to freely exchange our ways in which we allow ourselves to dance on the page. But when you have a pen or a mic or some kind of device, you put yourself in such a powerful position, because if it was not documented, it never happened. But see, She's So Cold put me on stage to let me see how it is to articulate, because after I get off this one, I won't be on the mic until April 8th. And I have to understand what it is to say, if you want to see this live, you better get them tickets, because it's amazing how we can always shift it. The idea of knowing that Talam AC gonna be on stage with me, I'm so lit, because it's amazing how we allow ourselves to see how God, light, love, and all of our ancestors all come together. They are woven the tapestries of our existence. And again, if you aren't breathing, if you're too caught up in this moment, you keep holding your breath, you are doing a disservice to your body. Won't you take a deep breath in?
Girl.
Wow.
Give it up,
Yes.
man. Hey, listen, the name fits. The word mortician, man.
Ah.
So really quick, how did you get that name? I mean, obviously you just displayed it, but like, how did you get it?
I pray for everything.
Yes.
When I founded Toiletries for Families, I was very depressed. My best friend died at 29, and I'm just like, yo, I don't want to live in vain. And so I told God, if I don't have purpose, don't wake me up in the morning.
Wow.
I woke up in the morning with Toiletries for Families.
Wow.
In 2011, September, I had been going to poetry shows. I've been a poet on this scene for 20 years this year,
Wow.
like 20 years. But I've been writing for 30. But September 2011, I was at Martell's downtown with Khalid, and I'm listening to all these people talk about these ciphers. No offense, but they not freestyling, and I'm just like, I want to freestyle, like, And so I was like, okay, well, I gotta have a pseudonym, y'all. Like, what's my thing? Well, I'm real big on math, and so I prayed about it, and I woke up with the word mortician. So literally, it's I made it up. Like, it's all mine. There is no other. And it's crazy because somebody introduced me at Day 6 Coffee. I was like, oh, we have a word mortician coming to the stage to bless us. And I was like, it might be my ego, but no, I am the word mortician. Ain't nobody gonna do it like this.
Absolutely.
Like, it's me.
Absolutely.
It's me. Y'all can try.
Yeah.
But ain't nobody gonna do it like this.
Nope.
So, like, no, I do. But yeah, no, this is my name. And shout out to Kevo Arts. So Kevo Arts is a Black artist who is phenomenal. I found him on Highway 6 in Little York in 2014. This is my last tat. And I thought he was amazing because he can ambidextrously express himself. Like, he's on YouTube videos, painting and drawing with both hands at the same time. He is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And he freehanded this. So it's like, I got my treble clef, I got my bass, I got my mic stand, I got my name, like camera, all of the art. Because in essence, long live the arts. And anything that you do to create, I want you to do it always.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So again, if we could all tell her happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day. It is the word mortician, Tiffany Scales, the word mortician. I'll put it up because somebody's asking. That's why I'm saying it like that.
Hey, Juanita, thank you.
Let's see where we have your name at. But we want everybody to follow her, and then also you can let them know. Well, actually, it's going to be right here on the screen. You can see how to follow her on Instagram,
on everything,
but, yeah.
YouTube, Facebook. That's my website. If you need some assistance with breathing, I do sessions one-on-one. I also have free events. My next one is March 12th at the Montrose Center. There are ways for you to enjoy your life.
Absolutely.
No matter what you're doing, no matter what you're doing. And
Enjoy your life.
It's not just he who when you're pregnant. It's more so he is still who sees you through things. So we get that, and I'm gonna help you.
Yeah. She means it. That's all I can say. She means it. I experience this every single time we're around. And in case you didn't catch it, you got to remember she asked for a word from everybody. Boom, 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 and then we're right into it. That was absolutely amazing. So thank you very much. We're gonna let you do what you need to do and get up out of here. We appreciate it. Absolutely.
Oh, I get something.
You had no heat.
Yes, I need it. Bye, y'all.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. You have a good one. Man, that was amazing, guys. That is Tiffany, the word mortician Scales. She's spitting that fire like she always does. And so you guys connect, reach out, and she definitely will bless your game, is what we say. She definitely is a blessing. So glad she was able to join us really briefly, and we were able to get that moment taken care of. And so we just want to move along. And now it's where we get into the story of this young lady right here. So again, we're going to put her name up. She's so cold. We want you guys to follow her on social media. All the information is right there at the bottom, and she is doing some amazing things as well. And we want you guys to become familiar with it. So whenever you see this logo right here, you'll understand who we are talking about. She's so cold. And since we were talking about names, I'd like to start with that. How did you come about that name?
So there is no dynamic, prolific story behind She's So Cold. I saw the movie Hangover. And so Chow got locked in the freezer. And when Chow, and the other guys thought that Chow had died. And so they closed the freezer and they moved on. And then when they went back to go get the body, when he popped out, he was like, "Oh, Chow's so cold." And I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
And so when Instagram came about, it was kind of like what I had, it was just in my experience at that time. So I was like, she's so cold.
She's so cold. Yeah.
She's so cold.
And it fits.
And that was how I came up with my Instagram name. And so when I moved to Houston and I started doing shows. My first show in Houston, September of 2019, was at a Zen Ashe show, Laughs and Lyrics. And so the question was, okay, so what's your stage name? And I didn't have one. So I just used my Instagram name. And that is how She's So Cold came about. I really don't have, it wasn't some amazing.
But that fits too. She's so cold. You know,
I grew into She's So Cold.
Yeah.
It definitely was not something that I said, I grew into this. I really earned She's So Cold. I earned that.
Okay.
That was something that came about later on.
Good. I'm gonna just go ahead and say. So I was thinking, I was like, man, I wonder what's the angle on the name. I don't know if it's because she's so cold, like you had a cold heart at one time, or she's so cold because she's so dope. Like I really wanted to know where, because you speak from such a transparent point of view sometimes, so I was just trying to tie it all together. So I'm glad to know,
it really was. I grew into She's So Cold.
That's what's up.
That was it. I picked it out of humor and it became my essence.
That's what's up. So give us a little background. I was telling you earlier, as far as the people who don't know you, because we're introducing you and reintroducing you to some. Who is She So Cold? Where are you from? What's your background story?
Okay, so I come from New York. I am from New York. I am New Yorker in my soul, in my spirit. My family, my parents, though, couldn't figure out what they wanted to do as far as their relationship was concerned. So they bounced. We bounced from New York to Florida, from New York to Florida. So I went to high school in Florida. I went to college in Florida. And that's where I found poetry. I went into a hair store.
Wow.
When I was about 19 years old, and I met this guy, and he's like, "What you doing on Thursday?" And I was like, "Nothing. I'm a college student. I pretty much do what I want to do."
Yeah.
And so he says, "Well, I want to invite you out to a show." So we went to this. It was called Mount Zion Calypso Cafe, and we went there, and that's when I was introduced to spoken word, and it was more so a competition for me initially. Once I saw what they were doing, I was like, I could do that. Yeah. I had been writing for a long time.
Okay.
But I was like, yeah, I can do that.
And my girl, she's from New York too. She's like, okay, New York
in the house.
Be quiet, Jay.
And so I stepped on the stage, and it was no longer a competition. It was, oh my God. And then I started popping poems out.
Yeah. I
started writing all the time. So now when you see me on campus, you'd see me with pen and paper. And during those times, this was well before the era of cell phones, smartphones. Nobody that I went to college with had a phone.
Right.
Everything that we did was word of mouth. So when I became popular on campus, it was really word of mouth. I had really earned it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I was a part of Black on Black Rhyme poetry troupe in Tallahassee. Black on Black Rhyme was the movement. Back Talk Poetry Troupe was the name of the troupe.
Okay.
And that's really where I started. I started performing, and I got really good. My husband now, when he talks about me, he's like, "You're like the Luke Skywalker."
Brother Malcolm, the poet.
Right?
What's
Brother
up,
Malcolm,
bro?
the poet, my husband. But coming back. So, backstory. I started doing poetry. I met a gentleman on the poetry scene, and I fell in love. And then I got pregnant. And then the relationship was not the best relationship. So about 4 months into the pregnancy, I performed for the last time in December of 2002.
Okay.
I was 4 months pregnant with my daughter. And some information came out about the relationship, and shame kept me from stepping back on the stage. So December 2002 was the last time I hit the stage.
Wow.
And the next time I had kids, more than one.
Yeah.
I had lost my mom. Me and my dad's relationship was tumultuous. Like I had life happened in about those 18 years, but I
And it
stepped
don't
back
take long.
on the poetry stage in July of 2019. So from December of 2002 to July of 2019, I never hit the stage.
Wow.
I never wrote a completed poem. I did not see me as a poet. Poetry did not exist for me.
Wow.
And so my stage name back in the day was River Blue. And there was no way, there was no way that I could come back to that, because she was so, in my opinion, she was so amazing back then. So I didn't have a name. I felt disconnected from her because I threw her away from shame and sadness and everything. So I stepped back on the scene in July of 2019.
So I feel like I have to do this, right? And I know you wouldn't mind. So to that young lady that's going through what you were going through back then, what words would you speak to her right now? Having your wisdom and your experience and knowing exactly what she went through, what would you say to her? Look right in that camera and talk to her.
Be intentional about not letting shame live here. Shame can't live here. Shame is debilitating. And that would be what I would like to express to anybody who stop loving on themselves, who stop putting their creativity ahead of everything else just because of shame. And specifically shame, because there's embarrassment, there's disappointment, but shame holds on to you differently.
Yeah.
And so for anyone who was in that space of being, I was a 20-year-old poet that was pregnant from another poet. And just because of the dynamic of the relationship, I let the personal seep over into my poetry, to my creativity. And the shame won. So the shame covered everything that was beautiful about me as a poet.
Right.
And so that's what I would encourage any person, man or woman. Do not let shame dictate how you move in this world.
Yeah.
It's short term. Yeah. And I lived in shame for almost 20 years.
Wow. And it's amazing, man. If we could just be transparent, open, and honest, we don't understand the impact that we can have on so many lives. So I'm glad there was a rebirth for you, and you back, and you she said, me too. You are definitely in a totally different space, which we're gonna I'm gonna do my best to try to make sure we cover all of that.
Sure.
I think this is a good segue.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want to spit right now or if you want to introduce someone in particular, but I'd like for us to go ahead and have another piece.
I can do that.
Okay.
I didn't practice this piece, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
Do it anyway. Right.
Because she's so cold.
So I wrote this piece. It was inspired by one of my good friends who is it was inspired by two people actually. But Scott Free is a poet on the scene, and my husband, Brother Malcolm. And Scott Free has a piece that starts out with, "I write to remain silent." And so my inspiration was, why do I write? And so my husband is like, you reach people that other people can't. And those are the Black women, the single mamas. And so I write for the mamas that can't. The mamas that don't, the mamas that won't. I write for the mamas that forget they have voices. For the mamas whose arms are too heavy to carry the pen to the paper. For the mamas who forgot their voices. For the mamas whose story was chopped and skewed to project someone else's view. For the mamas that gave up their dreams. I think that's all I got on that piece. That's all I got. That's all I have, right, like there. My memory, because I didn't practice. But understand, I really hold myself to a certain standard. And I wouldn't normally perform the piece without having it like down, but I really feel like it's necessary for me to let you know that I write for you.
Yeah.
I always remember us. I write for us. Oh man, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back to it. I really want to, because I need for people to understand.
Yeah.
That there is a collection of women like myself, the single mother, the Black woman who has had children or who have taken care of parents or aunts or anybody else in their life where they are forgotten, where everything revolves around everything that's going on in life. Yeah. I got to make sure the kids are good, make sure the husband good, make sure the mama's good, make sure the auntie's good, make sure the granddaddy's good. Everybody else has to be good, and they forget them.
Yeah.
You understand? So I write for the women that feel like they have been forgotten about.
Yeah.
and I give a voice because I am her.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. And I went ahead and put up on the screen so we can just segue right into it. The Other Side of Motherhood Poetry Collection. I'm sure that ties into what we're talking about right now.
Absolutely.
But we want the people to become familiar with it. So let us know what that's all about.
So The Other Side of Motherhood is a collection of poetry that I'm working on. I'm working to build, to create this, to put this out in a book. It is a reminder that every day is not Mother's Day. Everyone says, the babies are a blessing. They are. The children are the blessing. The love that you experience from the children is a blessing. But there's days when I don't feel like being a mother.
Yeah.
There's days where I just want to be me, where I just want to be woman, where I just want to exist. And so that's what this is about. Just a reminder that I go through struggles with my children and being responsible for teaching them how to show up in this world.
Man,
I have my own baggage, my tumultuous relationship with my father, the lack of a mother, because now I am a motherless mother.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so I talk about all those things that affect me as a mama. I have 2 girls, 17 and 18, and they are whooping me. And I can't go to my mama and say, hey, Mom, what would you do in this situation? Or, hey, Mom, what was I like? I can't do that. My mom passed away 4 weeks after I gave birth to my twins. There's no point of reference. There's no foundation. Everything that I do is trial and error. So there was a time, especially through middle school, where I had no clue how, because that's when the babies change. Lord have mercy. That's when they change.
Yeah.
They become different. They get girls get their cycles, boys get a growth spurt. And as a single woman, I had no idea what to expect. There was no blueprint for me.
Yeah.
I have aunts, I had uncles, I have at the time my grandmother was alive, but there was nothing like
a mother.
At least for me, I was like, if my mom was here, I would have so much more guidance because she knew me.
Yeah.
She knew me as a teenager. She knew me as a middle schooler, and she would be able to give me, I felt like she would be able to give me all the insight.
Let me make it real for you. You see this comment right here, Jay, that's my lady. Hey, baby. She's saying, yes, ma'am. Oh my God, the same. Because her mother passed away when she was 16. And we talk about it all the time, like not having that mother figure, life can be so different. So it's important and it's real. I just wanted to, I know you know
Absolutely.
that, but like, man, it's
Absolutely.
for me just to even be involved with her and having to understand certain times, certain things. And like, it affects you. So I can definitely understand.
I said this on the show that I did, Cold World with We Go Live. Raising your children with no man, with no father is one thing, but raising your children with no mama is a different feeling.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling because as women, we need sisterhood.
Yeah.
We need sisterhood. We need camaraderie. I need to be loved. I need to hug.
Yeah.
I haven't hugged an older woman since the passing of my grandmother.
Wow.
I have not. No one hugs you like a grandma. No one. And you don't realize how much you need to be held until you have not been held. I know what it likes to be held by a man. I have a husband. I know what it likes to hug my children. I know what it's like when my daughter hugs me because of whatever stress she's going through and she collapses into my arms. At no point do I feel like I need to deprive myself of those emotions. I know that I need to be held. I know that I need a mama. I know that when I go to Dallas and I go visit my aunt and I hug her, it's a different kind of feeling because it's a love from a matriarch. And you don't realize how much you need it until you don't have it.
Yeah.
Until you don't have access to it. You don't, it's like a bad relationship.
Yeah.
You don't know. I didn't realize how much I missed you till you weren't there.
Yeah.
And I know that I took advantage of my relationship with my grandmother. My mother, not so much, because at 20, 22, you don't ever think that you're going to be without your mama.
I can imagine.
You don't even have, that's not even a concept you think of. Even in her sickness, my mom passed away from breast cancer. Even in her sickness, there was no way that I thought she wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
There was no way. I didn't think of it. I only wanted to live life with my mom, and she was my best friend. Yeah. You know what I mean? So to not have her, I created the other side of motherhood for that. I created it so that women like myself, women like Black Sheep, who I would love to be here, who I asked to be here. Women like Black Sheep, who's raising her children and also in her marriage without her mom.
Yeah.
Because even as a wife, we need that.
Yeah.
We need encouragement, because that relationship, oh baby, that marriage would be on the end, on the rocks. You know what I mean? And if you don't have your mama to say, hey honey, this is the ins and out, this is the good days and the bad days of marriage, you'll be done left that marriage. And then 5 years later, you're like, why did I leave? Because you don't have no mama to explain to you that sometimes you're gonna hiccup in life, in parenting, feeling insecure about who I am as a mama, especially based off of the decisions that my kids make.
Right.
Because I feel judged.
Yeah.
Like, if you see my kids out on the street, please know that those decisions are theirs and theirs alone. I didn't have anything to do with those decisions. Those children made those decisions not because I didn't raise them right. So that's also a message to people who are out and you see teenagers just not being great. And you're like, what is their mama teaching them? Yo, please leave their mama and their daddies out of it. Those kids are making those decisions on their own. I say that so that we as parents could give ourselves some grace. You need to give yourself some grace. Them kids are not a reflection of you, I promise. Once they reach a certain age, at 5, maybe so. But baby, at 17, I didn't have nothing to do with that. I don't even know that person.
And it's I can identify with you.
I don't even know them. I don't even know them. That's the tethered version.
Right. Absolutely, man. So the other side of motherhood poetry collection. Is that something that's out already, or when can we expect it, and how to get it? Okay.
It's building.
Okay.
It's building. It's collecting.
Absolutely.
I'm working on it. Really, I am. Anxiety.
Gotcha.
If you want to segue into that.
Gotcha.
Anxiety has been a hindrance for me because I'm coming back into this poetry community as like a late bloomer, because I just turned 40. Hello, 40 where?
Congratulations.
40 where? 40 where?
Yeah.
And so coming back into the scene at 40 and then seeing younger poets, younger creatives being so successful and thriving, and their content is different, wondering how they're going to relate to me as a mama. It's a good thing I was able to find my niche, because I can tell someone, if you don't feel like you resonate with me, tap into your mama. Because there are a lot of kids who are out here being raised by single mamas and you don't know their feelings.
Right.
And so if you can see your mama in me, if you can see the auntie that raised you in me, then I connect differently. You get what I'm saying? But anxiety has prevented me from starting this book sooner. But everything is in its time.
Yeah.
And it's coming right when it's supposed to come, where I have content that is impactful, that I know that I need this. I know that I need to put my content out there because there are women that exist like me.
Yeah.
And so also the confidence is there. The confidence has been building. It's just like this book.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have it before. I didn't feel strong enough. It's not until other women come to me and they're like, hey, you changed my life.
Yeah.
Hey, I see things differently now because of you. I can relate to my child differently because of you. You understand what I'm saying? That's a different feeling.
Yeah. I can remember the first time I saw you and I was like, she got it. Like, it was just undoubtedly that you had it. And you came, I don't know if you remember, you came to one of my shows here. I did. You popped up, did your thing, and you was gone, And so another thing I like to segue into, if we could talk about it a little bit, if not, it's fine. Absolutely. But, I had met Brother Malcolm already, and I met you in a different setting, and like, y'all was just doing y'all thing. I'm watching y'all as two individuals, right?
We were two individuals.
And then I see that y'all got married. When I tell you, that was like one of the best days. I was really like happy for y'all, because not like I know either one of you just extremely well, but from what I do know and then the day I found out was another poetry thing that I did, and people at Diamond Fit Nutrition off of Highway 6, when y'all came and 7 came that night. Yeah. That's when I found out that I was like, y'all together?
Okay, so we were together for like
let's talk about that and how amazing that connection
My
is.
amazing husband, man, I love that man, like cook food.
Yeah.
He shows up for me. She's So Cold is She's So Cold because Brother Malcolm is who he is.
Man, salute, bro.
You understand what
Salute.
I mean? That's
Salute.
really because, like I said, the anxiety, the confidence was not there.
Yeah.
And he saw in me what I couldn't see for myself.
Yeah.
He was a helpmate to me. So we dated off and on. That first year don't count because, baby, the emotions. Okay, we could not get it together.
Yeah.
It was like 1 minute we together,
Next minute we ain't.
and we're like, nah, we not.
Jay,
I'm not wasting any time.
You say the first year, the
whole year from start to finish, we were like,
yeah.
and that's why nobody knew, because unlike you, young folk, we're not posting, okay?
Yeah.
Because I cannot prematurely commit to a relationship. And when you post it, that's when you make it official. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about me talking about She's So Cold. It's for the streets. I ain't be like that. So we dated. So that first year was up and down, and we were unsure.
Yeah.
And then a life challenge happened, and I felt safe enough to be vulnerable with him and only him. And I had been dating, but there was nobody in this mix that made me feel safe enough to say, this is what I'm going through.
Yeah.
And so I was able to come to him. I called him out of the blue because at this time we hadn't been talking for like 2 to 3 months.
Wow.
And I called him out of the blue, and it was definitely not no, hey, big head text.
Yeah.
I called him.
Yeah.
And
it was real.
And when I answered, I heard the rustling, when somebody laying down and then you hear them pop up. So I know in my head, I heard him like, hello. And he said, hello. And I said, I need you. And he said, tell me. And he's been by my side ever since.
Man.
When I said, I need you.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And he said, tell me. And to be able to be safe, the only reason why I could stand on that stage and be as completely vulnerable as I am is because I have someone who supports me in being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I do not have to run from my feelings, because trust me, she's a runner, she's a track star. You understand me? I don't like emotional conflict. I don't like emotional confrontation.
You just shut down.
I'm a Capricorn, baby. I'm cold as ice. Shut it down.
She's so cold. See, I knew it was in there now.
I don't want to deal.
Yeah.
And because I don't want to deal, I'm off. I don't want to deal. Whatever. He allows me to feel safe enough to sit in the feelings, because I break down as a human, as a woman. I break. I don't just, my mind just don't be.
Yeah.
No, I be sobbing. It's snot running down my face. It's like I got to do like this, and it's like a whole, it's just a whole snot and emotions. Tears are heavy.
Yeah.
It's big old fat tears. It's not streams. They are falling out. You get what I'm saying? And when I know that I break down like that, I cannot do that in front of other people, because some people look at you like,
judging.
What's happening here?
Yeah.
What's this breakdown about?
And she was so cold.
I thought she was so cold, but I get to be Marie with him.
Yeah.
I get to be Marie with him before I have to be She's So Cold. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm able to be who I am, is because my husband supports me in that. And we definitely looked at each other as 40. Well, he's almost 40. He got a couple more years. I'm here. I done kicked in the door.
Yeah.
And we kind of just said, what we doing here? If we're not taking this long term, then we can stop right now. But otherwise, let's just go ahead and get married. It was not he did not get down on one knee and propose to me. It was not a black love story.
Mm-hmm.
We was struggle bus for the first year. And in the second year, just when we were tapping on the second year, we said, all right, let's do this. Yeah. And I was like, right now? Because I got kids. And so what we doing? And he was like, I'm doing this. Can we wait till my mama get back in town?
Yeah.
Absolutely. When's she gonna be here?
Yeah.
Let me snatch him up now before he changes his mind. Goddamn.
No, it's cool, man. And it's necessary to have that type of relationship that you're describing that y'all have. And I think it's amazing. And like I said, just from the little that I do know, and then hearing I'm calling it a fairy tale that y'all ended up married,
Man, it feels like a fairy tale now.
Yeah,
it feels like a fairy tale now. Like I said, that first year was all over the place. The second year, man, that man showed up and showed out for me. Yeah. He showed out for my kids, because I don't have babies.
Yeah.
Well, I got a toddler. He's 5. But my older kids, it's different to raise your children with no partner, and then they already been raised. My kids did not need
to be raised.
Someone to come in saying, hey, I'm gonna be your daddy. He came in saying, I'm gonna be your friend if you allow me.
Yeah.
And so to see him with my kids, I have a 18-year-old, should be 19 soon, and my twins are 17. And he has a way of communicating with them that I don't, because the connection, they've always had me. They're just now getting him.
Yeah.
And my patience is a little bit lighter. Hello.
Yeah.
And I do operate off of emotion. Hell, I'm a creative.
Yeah.
My husband, he is a creative, and he does operate off of emotion, but he's way more logical than I am in the midst.
Because y'all sensitive about your shit.
Because I'm sensitive about my shit. As a mom,
yeah,
I'm sensitive about my kids.
Yeah.
I'll cuss them all out. But
Yeah.
you say something. What you say?
What you say? Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're mine.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But to have this man come in with these big semi-adults and come in and have a relationship with them where I do not have to fight. I do not have to argue. I do not have to be protective of my children from my husband.
Yeah.
And I do not have to be protective of my husband from my
The
children.
kids. Yeah.
Because I let it be known when they came in.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You disrespect my husband, and I'm gonna meet you outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's mine too.
Yeah.
And I made it very, very clear to my children and to my husband, I will not pick between the two of you.
Yeah.
The best part is that my husband never said you have to pick.
Yeah.
The best part is that my children never said I had to pick.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
Yeah.
And so that's how we able to do this. And that's because we 40
Yeah.
and we done had our troubles.
Y'all grown.
You get what I'm saying? We are grown and we need to have understanding in our relationship. We can't be immature.
Yeah.
I don't have too much time.
Yeah.
I got TikTok that I got to keep up with. I got Instagram.
You got,
I got to keep up with
and you
stuff.
can't be your best self when you have
When
all
you're
this
stressed
stuff going
out.
on. You just can't. Yeah,
No.
and listen, I can identify with you, and I'm 44, and I'm just
Kicking
venturing in this.
the
Fofo.
I'm waiting to get to 44 so I
Yeah.
can sing that all year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
absolutely.
you have earned your right to move about.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You've earned it.
And let me
You've
tell
earned
you
the
something
badge.
about 44 for me.
Mhm.
This has been a kickoff because I just turned 44 in November,
Mhm.
and I'm in a space now because I have things I've been through. I have a story that's yet to be told,
Yeah.
and to be beyond certain things at this point, I'm in an amazing, amazing space, and being with someone that, like you say, you can be yourself and you can
Yeah.
let the world know,
Right.
it's a good feeling, man. But there's so much to that.
Yeah.
But this is a really, really good space, and I can identify with it,
Mhm.
with everything that you're saying.
Yeah,
And just
thank
salutes to you guys for making it past that first year and understanding that you got to keep going, because it's going to be a beautiful thing in the long run.
Man.
So
It's beautiful right now.
let's take another pause.
Yes.
I want you to introduce one of the lovely ladies that you invited today.
Yes.
And let whoever, and we'll let you do it, let them do their thing. If you just introduce them, and I'll put the info up.
Well, when I introduce them, can I discuss why I picked?
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm gonna.
This
call
your
Black-
show today.
It's my show?
In
Thank
case you
you.
didn't know, this
Glad
is
you
your
could
show.
join
today.
us.
The She's So Cold edition. Okay.
I would like to introduce Black Sheep, the voice of the Black Sheep. I asked Black Sheep to join us today because Black Sheep is the energy that I wish I had in my earlier stages of motherhood. She comes out and she says, "Yes, I love these kids, but she is the energy that I wish I knew about,
Mhm.
that I wish I knew existed. It is because of her why I also am able to be very honest. She is an example of being honest in her space.
Yeah.
When she is not happy, when she is happy, no matter what it is, physical appearance, emotional stability, her marriage, her kids, how she's living as a mom. I picked her. I picked her because she allows us to see who she is. She is also vulnerable.
Yeah.
And everybody don't give that.
Yeah.
She is not I'm so dope and I'm so creative, and she's not that poet. She is the poet that says, I'm hurting today.
Mhm.
I'm gonna laugh through it, but I'm hurting today.
Mhm.
And I respect her for that.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked her to join.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say a little bit too. She has been part of a few of my shows, and to add on to what you said about her, amazing individual. Absolutely transparent. That's number one. But let's not forget that she will make your ass laugh. Like she was
Hilarity.
gonna make you laugh.
Hilarity.
That's the other side of
Yeah.
her. And the reason I said that is because for the last month or two, I love my kids, but like that part, I've been trying to figure out who was the person that said that reminded me of it? And she is the person that says, I love my kids, whatever, but them kids, okay?
Yeah.
So we'd like
Today.
to welcome up
Yes.
the voice of the Black Sheep. I'm gonna step out and let y'all do
Yeah.
y'all thing, man. I wish I had some theme music playing
Yeah.
right now. Welcome, baby. Go ahead.
And that's on period. Okay.
Welcome to the
Absolutely.
Reach Podcast Show with LeVar Ellis and She's So Cold. He said it was my show today. All right.
Absolutely is.
So are you going to interview Black Sheep or can I interview Black Sheep?
No, you can do it and let her spit a piece, and then
Yes.
yeah, just say it's
So-
one for you, because we still got to tell more.
Facts.
Of the story.
Okay, so Black Sheep, first of all, welcome. And why don't you tell us about yourself briefly, though, because we want to get the juice.
Okay. I'm the voice of the Black Sheep, and I call myself the voice of the Black Sheep because I like to speak for those who feel rejected, unseen, and maybe just a little outcast. It's okay to be weird, you know. A lot of people don't like to embrace themselves as the Black Sheep, so I kind of put a little pizzazz on that to make us feel like it's okay.
Right,
It's okay.
right. Good. So, we're going to ask you to share a piece today. Why don't you give us a little backstory as to which piece you're showing? You're going to share with us.
I'm glad She's So Cold reached out to me for Women's Month and for this
Yes.
podcast, because I think a lot of people see me as a poet who just speaks about life and you know can bring humor to it. But a lot of people don't understand that the reason I became a poet is because I was getting my ass whooped by motherhood too, baby. Look.
Motherhood.
Yes.
Okay.
And not only am I a parent to two sons, I'm a parent to a special needs son. So a lot of times I felt silenced when it came to complaining, venting. I like to say complaining. It is what it is. Complaining, venting, or just asking for advice to motherhood. So I didn't have a safe space. And I was writing, but then my oldest son, he had a mental breakdown. Who's the one who's special needs, so he went to a mental facility, and I started writing. And he came home, and my baby boy started whooping my ass too. And I just didn't have a safe space.
Yeah.
And I'm like you, sometimes we just don't have a time where we can say, fuck, excuse me. I don't know if I can say it, but I'm finna say it.
Ready?
Fuck them kids.
Yes.
And fuck you too if you have an opinion about what I'm going through with my children. So the piece that I wrote, I just wrote it out of, it's a real life story, but it come from a safe space where I can probably convey it in a way where people can relate and actually kind of laugh about a little bit of my pain.
Yeah.
But I wrote it so it can resonate on a different level for those who can't say it or just hold it and internalize it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it for you.
Yes.
Sometimes you just gotta say, fuck them kids and fuck you too.
You can go right into
And it is what it is.
Segue into it.
Fuck them kids and fuck you too. They always begging for shit and eating all my food too. Now I love my kids, yes. But I need a vacation. Along with a spa day, good weed, and a whole lot of libations. Fuck them kids and fuck you too. And if my husband is upset, no, I'm gonna run that back because I messed it up. See, that's what happened.
It's all right. Go into it. It's the kids.
Because I rehearsed my poem to y'all. Fuck them kids and fuck you too. They're always begging for shit and eating all my food too. Now I love my kids, yes, but I need a vacation. Along with a spa day, good weed, and a whole lot of libations. Fuck them kids and fuck you too. They all see shit.
Eating all my food.
Okay, look, y'all, because I'm so embarrassed on the Reach podcast. Okay,
Don't be
I've done
embarrassed.
this poem before on the Reach podcast.
I've heard this poem.
Okay. Well, before I'm just gonna do my little interview. I'm gonna let somebody come up before me and I'm gonna come back and just do my poem to end it out.
Okay. Snap.
But
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before I let me just give you a little bit, and then I'm just gonna get off. I wanted to talk about something that She's So Cold had addressed about being a motherless mother. That was another reason why I wrote that poem. I didn't have my mom to call and say, "Hey, mom, I need advice on what I'm going through with my kids." I was always being judged because I had a different journey in motherhood because I had a special needs son. So I didn't have people telling me, giving me good advice. They was always like, well, you need to figure something out and you need to try to figure out what to do with your emotions because you got to just suck that up and deal with that and put you to the side to deal with your children. But I was like, the reason why I can't deal with my children is because I never addressed myself.
Right.
I never took time for me as a woman, and I never took time to grieve because I lost my mom during a period of time where my special needs son was just developing in ways where I could help him. And I needed that support because a lot of people in the Black community have a tendency of looking at special needs situations as oh, he'll get over it or something you did or something like that. So I didn't have a space to relate to anyone.
Yeah.
So my art was something for me. So just to be bold enough to say, fuck them kids and fuck you too was really bold because when I say it, people go, oh my God. And then she got a special needs son, call CPS on her. You know? So the reason why I say it in the space that I say it, I'm gonna get my shit together to come back and do it. But the reason I say it in the space of poetry is because I'm like you. I like to speak for people who feel they have no voice. Yeah. Who feel they're suffering in silence. Yeah. Parenthood is something that affects us a lot, especially in our creative spaces. There's a lot that our kids sacrifice from. Right. For us just being creatives. Yeah. It's a lot of times that I'm not here for my kids because we being creative. Right.
But I still holler.
Fuck them kids. I told them too. I know. I'm sorry. I said it too before I left. I'm not gonna say the F word anymore, and I'm gonna get off because I'm gonna say it again when I come back and get all the F's in the right place. Okay. But I just want to express to all creatives and women as creatives and maybe untraditional moms, to find your voice and sometimes write it down. If you feel no one can hear you or you feel that you're not being heard, write it down anyway. Right. And at the end of the day, I'm going to get my shit together and come right back with the right F's. I hope I can say as many F words when I do come back.
What's up? That's what she said you can't. Listen, that is Voice of the Black Sheep. She has performed that at my poetry night. So we have to be transparent sometimes because that's what we were talking about. And so I feel no kind of way about the language. You know, it's definitely something that we feel, something that we sometimes say, and this is my show, so we can do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody that's offended by that, then we apologize. But at the same time, we're trying to deliver a message, and we want people to speak from an honest space. Right. So that's what it's all about for me. You know, that ain't the first time y'all done heard the word, so you know you'll be all right. But yeah, go ahead. No,
is it okay if there's a poem that I wanted to do just on the strength of that, and then
absolutely,
if we were transitioning to our next,
absolutely, go ahead.
So this one is for single mothers. Remembering that when we have those feelings, we don't have to keep them to ourselves. They exist, and our feelings are valid and honest, and we should be able to express that, whether we're a mother or not. Just because I have kids does not mean I don't feel frustration, that I don't feel disappointment. And so I'm gonna kick.
And the other side of that is y'all probably speak for a lot of people that have those emotions
that's sitting quiet
and don't want to say it. Yeah.
Your feelings are valid. And it's okay for you to acknowledge the love-hate relationship you have with motherhood, no matter how many times the world tells you you never should. You never should. Be quiet. When your heart is crying, reaching for reprieve from that mental prison you put yourself in, let them tell it. You picked this life. You chose to journey through motherhood on your own, and even though that's not true, they still condemn you. Tell you to suck it up because once you become a mother, you become a robot. Punch the clock the minute that life drops, and there's no clocking out. And now you don't get to hurt. You don't get to experience frustration. Postpartum depression lasts way longer than 1 year when you're always being told to stop crying, stop complaining, stop feeling, stop being human. Be a mother to those children you had by yourself. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Remember? God forbid you have more than one kid. The criticism flows like liquid insults. Oh, you made the same mistake more than once. Shame. Now you must pay with blood, sweat, and tears and years of despair and bottled up screams because the bed you made must be laid in. The payment of your sins must begin and end with your suffering. But my love, you are single-handedly doing the job of two people while your kids are doing what kids do and dumping all of their emotions onto you. You play the role of their sponge and absorb all of their feelings, their issues, their sicknesses, their cries, their temper tantrums, their emotional distance. When their wants are not met, you are responsible for their emotional development, their academic achievements, their health, their success. But there is no way that you can teach those kids to be great without first acknowledging yourself. So mother, for every blow to your parental ego, you grow. You grow stronger to continue being the best mother you can be. You live to fight another day, even when your gas tank is on empty, even while raising those children singly. And my love, you are not alone. And there is no guilt for the disappointment that you feel. And some days you don't. Some days are better than others. And some days you don't feel like being a mother. And some days your heart is only strong enough to beat for yourself. And some days you want to be held. And you want to be cradled. And you want to be told that that day, it's okay for you to feel. Poem. Yes. Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Thank
Absolutely love it. Amazing things. And to make the transition. So you are now doing some wonderful things. You're creating your own space. You are packing so much momentum behind the She's So Cold name. And so I don't know what part you want to go to next, but I guess due to expression, we'll talk about the poetry thing. So what is Puff Puff Poetry and how did that come about? Because I know that is something that is your baby, you know, and y'all are doing your thing with that. And let me just say this. I know you know because we've tried to connect and you wasn't able to make a couple times. Things happen. And when I tell you I'm trying to get there, I am trying to get there. And it's either the weekend I got my son, you know, and I can't make it, or just an inconvenient time. But I'm definitely going to get there. But let's talk about Puff Puff Poetry and what y'all are doing.
So our next Puff Puff Poetry, we have our next two Puff Puff Poetries we have been able to start building and curating for those events. Our next one is going to be Friday, April 8th. Wordmatician is going to be on that show. We have some great poets lined up for that one. Creativity, the poet from Atlanta. Sabrine Speaks from Atlanta. We have the Wordmatician, Talam AC from Atlanta. Jess Mahogany from Austin. We have Fortune, MC Kodak. Oh man, just a great lineup. Free K, Lachelle the Shooter, some really amazing artists who have agreed to be a part of our show. And then our Father's Day edition of Puff Puff Poetry, we have Seven the Poet, Black Snow. We have a couple of more poets. I'm sorry, I can't remember right now, but that one's going to be Friday, June 17th, where we are celebrating the kings that have not only made impacts in the poetry community, but just are doing amazing things as dads in their personal life. That we've had the opportunity, the privilege of meeting with these men and just talking to them. Getting an idea of how they show up in their life as dads. So Puff Puff Poetry came together when Brother Malcolm and I got together. He had an idea of how can we incorporate the things that we like into the poetry show and create a grown and sexy vibe. And so what do people like to do on Sunday Fun Day? They like to smoke hookah and eat. So we created a show where you can come in, you smoke hookah, but you also feel sexy. You feel grown and sexy and inspired and loved on, because we also love on the artists. We love on our guests that come in and support us. We want to give them a great show. We want to give them a great vibe. And so that's how we created Puff Puff Poetry. It's just a collection of creatives loving on each other while looking sexy as hell. We get dressed up, we put the heels on. The men come out in their brunch boot, their ties, and some of them come in bow ties, some of them come in turtleneck. We have someone in a turtleneck, and we just look good and we love on each other. It is an expression of our creativity for those who are not poets or vocalists, but you have some style. So you do makeup. So you come out and you showcase what you do. And that's what we do at Puff Puff Poetry. It is a fashion show of creativity.
Right. That's what's up. That's what's up. And y'all be doing the thing.
Yeah.
and have a really good time, like Black excellence, like
Absolutely.
Blackness at its finest and everybody looking good. So I definitely compliment you guys on that. And I have a couple of flyers here. So I want to go to those and you can talk about each one of those and just see what's going on. But you're doing some amazing things. So I'll put this first one up when we get to it, and you can just talk about what's going on with this.
Okay. So Tell the Truth is a We Go Live production. I'm so honored to be a part of that show because Rock the Truth is an amazing artist. And so we get to celebrate her and her career. And then we also get a platform to show up as well. And it is, Raquel is a seasoned vet in the poetry community. She's been here a long time. She's been on the scene, stepped away for lifing, of course.
Right.
But this is her chance, her opportunity to show y'all what she's been hiding.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
I'm
so excited for that show. That is going to be on Friday, March 18th at 8 o'clock at the Media Block with We Go Live.
Okay. And that's going to be a dope time as well.
That's
and
going
then
to be a dope time as well.
You have this other one here. Tell us what's going on here.
That is
R&B experience.
The R&B experience with the Red Balloon team and Rich Hardy. I'm actually going to be hosting that event, putting my hosting skills to use. Come out and check me out.
Yeah.
That is going to be a showcase of vocalists infused with poetry.
Wow.
There is a poetry competition. The winner gets, the pot is $200. So if you're interested, come on and sign up. That's going to be Saturday, March 5th. I'm sorry, Saturday, March 5th at 6:30. I do have the flyer on my website. I'm sorry, not on the website, on my IG page, she_so_cold. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. To where I'm just hosting and being
letting it be known.
And I'm kind of dope at this hosting thing.
That's what's
I have
up.
a way.
That's what's up.
I have a way. I tried to be humble, but I really have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hosting.
And that's the conversation we're about to have. If you didn't know, that's the conversation we're about to have about this this month. So no, that's definitely amazing. So with this Puff Puff Poetry, how often do y'all do that? Is there a
we don't have a schedule yet.
Okay.
We're throwing it out there when we feel inspired.
Gotcha.
So it's been every like 60, maybe 90 days. So I think we're at 60 days right now.
Yeah.
I like our fluidity.
Mm-hmm.
And truthfully, we are coming out of our own pockets for this.
Yeah.
We don't have sponsors.
Oh,
we don't have a team. It's just he and I.
Yeah.
We pay our poets. We pay our team. We are working with the venue. We do it when we can.
You make it happen. Yeah.
We do it when we can because what we want to do is be able to put on a quality show. Mm-hmm. And if we don't have the resources to put on a quality show, then we're not putting it on.
Yeah.
And we came in big.
Yeah.
We went big. We started big, and there's no way we can scale back.
Go back.
Now.
Yeah.
So if we can't do it next month.
He gonna make a way.
Next month, as in like just hypothetically.
Yeah.
Then we gonna wait until we can do it because we're not shortchanging our poets. We are not shortchanging our guests.
Yeah.
We want you to want to come back. We want the poets to want to be eager to work with us.
Yeah.
And so we're going to give them a quality experience. And if we cannot do that, we wait. And so
Absolutely.
we've been fortunate enough to be able to offer that every 60 to 90 days.
Yeah. And that's Puff Puff Poetry, man. I mean, I'm excited to get to the next one. That's my goal. As long as we can make those dates, well, not make the dates, but as long as I can make that date when y'all have it. Absolutely.
We're speaking into existence.
Absolutely. So with that being said, the next thing that you are doing again is you have this I thought we put this up here, but I guess I didn't. You have the Cold Collection.
The Cold Canvas Collection.
Cold Canvas Collection. Yes, I'm sorry.
So that's new.
Tell us about that. Absolutely.
Oh man, the Cold Canvas Collection. I have one other thing I didn't share with you, but I'm gonna throw it in there after the Cold Canvas Collection. So my husband and I are real creatives, like in all different aspects. We sing. I sing a little bit.
Really?
I love sing. Ooh, yeah. I do a little bit. Just a little bit, not a lot. not a lot. But he's an artist and he is into artwork and that's what he's done. He's like, why don't we try something different? And I was like, okay. Because he's always inspired. I'm always inspired too, but I'll go to the computer or I'll go to my book and I'll start writing. But he's like, well, let's do something different. And so we were able to create some canvas art. And it started out with having the canvas art inspired by my poems. And then it took on a mind of its own. And we've done really well at selling them and pushing them. And it's starting. I'm telling you, we just breathe. What's the past tense of breathe? Is it broth? It ain't broth. We breathe.
I don't even know. Yeah.
We gave breath.
You breathed life into it.
We gave breath to
You'll hand me a couple of those.
To the cold canvases.
You'll hand me a couple of those. Yeah.
We were able to create some canvas art.
You breathed life into it.
I breathed life into it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
With a V.
And if they go to your website, they
can order if they see us at a show. If they see us at a show, we have some on hand. But you can also go to shesocoldpoetry.com, where this is our write piece. This is inspired by why I write. I write for the mamas that can't, the mamas that don't, the mamas that won't. So that was inspired by that. So we started. It's slow, but it's been steady and it's been beautiful because this is our Pisces piece. It's the season that we're in. That's the season that we're in. So we have them in shows.
Scorpio, okay?
I got you. I'm working on all the zodiacs. But this is the Pisces season, so it's easier to just be able to get a collection of these and all the Pisces will say, give it to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when the Scorpio season comes, they're gonna be popping all year long, right? So my husband is the hands. I tell him this is what I want it to look like. I want it to look like dripping, and then put love on it, and then put unconditional on it.
Okay, bro. And he's like, I see you, bro.
Done.
Yeah. So, this one is mine too, by the way. So thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you so much. Again, you can order online. We are working right now to put all of the designs that we have created. These are all original pieces. They are made to order. Everything we have right now at the moment is one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to share something with you that my husband came up with. Yes. Each one of these pieces have a little She's So Cold hashtag at the bottom. Most artists, they sign at the bottom. But man, that She's So Cold hashtag does something to my spirit because it's not just my name, but it's also the movement. Like she's so cold, baby. She's hitting it. She's hitting it hard. She's showing up in this world, and that's what I want to push is knowing that every woman is so cold. We so cold out here.
Absolutely.
We are.
This is the one I'm purchasing. This is the one I'm purchasing today. It's the dopest one up here. So. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And no, Jay, you can't have it. I'm sorry. Nah, you can definitely get that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, you're doing some amazing things.
Thank you.
One thing that's important is putting a product behind you. I definitely believe in that. So you can monetize and keep things going. But just to hone in on the things that you're trying to do and make everything work together, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. And backtracking, because I know G is gonna watch this. That whole Father's Day thing, we talked about it. Y'all celebrating the fathers. I told them we celebrating the fathers too.
Absolutely.
Y'all are doing something on the 17th. Mm-hmm. My thing is on the 18th. I really want us to come together just as a community and make sure we celebrate at y'all's event, my event, and just any other event that's tied to it, because we have to make that happen. Mm-hmm. And for me, I know this is the year. It's going to be some amazing things going on.
I agree.
But salute to y'all for being aware, being intentional, and making these things happen. Man, it's was it something else? I think you said it was something else you wanted to share.
There's also something that I started on. I have not pushed it as much, but I do want to put it out there. I'm gonna speak life into it. It is cold balloons. And so cold balloons.
Cold balloons.
So I do balloon arches, balloon garlands, and I'm gonna just give you the backstory on that. When we were planning Puff Puff Poetry, Cold Turns 40, I wanted to get a balloon display.
Yeah. And
the ladies that I reach out to told me that the balloon garland was going to be $1,200 for what I wanted. Yeah, it's $1,200. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, the way my budget is set up, that was a hard pill, because I don't want to short nobody. I don't want to short anybody out of what they do for their business.
Yeah.
And instead of me trying to talk her down, I says, okay, well, thank you. She does they do quality work, and I would absolutely recommend them. I'm gonna figure out how I can get this for this show.
Yeah.
And so I started practicing. I went to YouTube University. I got that going. I have my certification.
Yeah. So that's a
my
prestigious university. Yeah.
my YouTube university. And I started buying balloons. I coughed up quite a bit of money in order to learn how to do these balloons.
Now I gotta ask you this. I hope you didn't cough up so much that you could have just paid them for it.
No.
Oh, okay.
It paid back. It paid back. I spent about $225 in balloons. You don't know how expensive balloons are by the bag until you got to get a bunch of bags.
So you got to go to them.
So I spent about $225 in balloons, and then I spent about 6 hours in prepping. 6 hours for the arch, and then I hung balloons from the ceiling, and that took about 2 days.
Yeah.
And that is also because we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And so we did a time-lapse video, and we just watched ourselves. And now that we kind of know what we're doing, it's like, oh, poor baby.
Yeah.
It was all over the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, I learned how to do the balloon arches. I just put pictures and videos on my social media. It is my intention to build this company because it turned out that I'm kind of dope at the balloons. I'm kind of
cold with it.
I'm kind of cold with it because she's so cold, man. I'm kind of dope with the balloons. And so that's, I'd like to just share that.
Yeah.
That I'm really trying to touch on everything, and once I master one, that's when I'll hone in on it.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm doing everything. I thought I'm a real Jamaican out here in these streets. My family is Jamaican, but I'm a real Jamaican with the 10 jobs. Okay?
Doing your thing.
I'm a mama. I'm a chauffeur. I'm a poet. I'm a curator. A host.
Yeah.
I do balloons.
Yeah.
I do canvases. Like 10 jobs.
Yeah.
I true Jamaican. I'm from yard.
Absolutely.
From yard.
And the most important thing, I'm gonna throw in. I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna just throw in healer because you are touching so many people, and you're speaking words and you're speaking life, and you're being transparent about what you've been through, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you kick off this series.
Thank you.
Celebrating queens, and just letting the story be told. I think that is something that's so important, being able to share what we go through and then share it with the masses. So that way if it's one person, you know what I mean?
Right.
You just never know. It might be somebody that's watching right now, somebody that comes back and watch, somebody that see it 3-4 years from now. You just never know. And that's just so important. So you can follow her on the social media things that you see. The Cold Poetry Group, that's a group on Facebook, right?
Nope, building it.
Okay, building
Just know the Cold Poetry Group
that is coming.
Is She's So Cold and Brother Malcolm, and we make things happen.
Absolutely. IG and Facebook and TikTok.
The Cold Canvas Collection. Just go to She's So Cold, and from there
you can find everything else. Absolutely. So I know we have another artist before we bring back up our girl. Let's talk about her and why you chose her, and then we'll let her come.
All right, on the Reach Podcast Show with LeVar Ellis, we have the rock star of the poetry community with us today.
The rock star.
The rock star. I chose this artist because she is everything that I wanted to be when I was in my early 20s. She is moving about freely, and it matches her name. She is a movement because she is true and genuine to herself. If she don't like it, she don't like it. If she could do it, she gonna do it, and she gonna show up, and you're gonna have a great time.
Yeah.
And she's also exploring what she's super amazing at. So she has her hands in different things, and she's just an amazing person because not only is her pen so serious, the pen is so serious, but she's so relatable to the younger generation of poets that's coming up. And so I picked Free K because she is a tsunami out here in this creative world. Yeah. And so I definitely feel like when we're going to honor women, we're going to honor those women who are not mothers, but who are changing the game in other areas of our life. So knowing that, I remember being that younger version of myself and wanting to be everything that she shows up as right now. Yeah. And so I want to love on her and give her the opportunity to just share herself with us.
Yeah. And I like to say, she is somebody I heard so much about, right? I have, and I've never met her personally, so I appreciate you for inviting her out.
Absolutely.
To give me an opportunity to connect, and we'll definitely. I'm gonna say we're gonna work together in the future. Absolutely. So it's amazing to have her in this space and on this platform. So guys, y'all welcome Free K to the stage is what I'll say. Appreciate you being here. I'm gonna step out again. Go ahead.
Thank you. All right. Okay. So today on the Reach Podcast Show with LeVar Ellis, we have
What's up? Free the
superstar, the rock star of the poetry community, Houston, Texas's very own Free K. Hey. So Free K, tell us a little bit about yourself and then segue into your womanhood.
Okay.
Share it with us.
So just to try and keep it short and simple, my name is Free K, short for free knowledge. Don't think too hard about it. I am a poet in Houston, also a host, also a freaking rock star.
Yes.
Like she said, I try to keep things light and fun. I try to, while still finding my way within doing that, I try to be a representation to people of my age that it doesn't matter if you're unsure about what you want to do, you can still do everything that you want to do while still figuring out what you're good at. Right. So the poem that I was going to do today, since it is like we're coming out of Black History Month and we're coming into Women's History Month, I have this piece that I wrote that was just kind of like a half and half thing of those two situations and those two sides. And I like to, when I'm writing, I try to take two things that people don't necessarily think about comparing to each other and find a way to make them connect. So this poem that I'm going to segue into is called my period poem. And I'm just going to say a little trigger warning to begin with. It may make some of y'all a little uncomfortable, but it's something I feel like you would like to hear in its entirety.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is my period poem. This is a moment where I take my true form, a beast to say the least. I'm running through Kleenex and bed sheets. I'm sorry if that's too much for your ears. A video about a man finding his shoe brought me to tears. Seeing a man see the sea for the first time drew long rivers down my cheeks and made puddles on my thighs. I'm so sick of these dripping red eyes. Can somebody give me some chocolate? I'm on my rag, a naggy hag, emotions rolling faster than a spin cycle, turning in cycles, circles, rubbing my hands in circles. Could you please get away from me? My hands held high. My body is ending. My body is cringing. This never-ending pain, slowly ascending. Excuse me. Your breathing is offending my uterine line. I'm mending. Just give me a break. Why must we bleed? Just give me a break. Why must we bleed? Just give us a break. We're bleeding, fatigued. Our people have become fatigued. Our bodies are aching from the coldness, using tampons to fill up bullet holes, out of control, heavy flow. A death curse we came in contact. Now police looking for the closest contact to try and explain why your nice, sweet boy was wrong for coming in contact with the boys and blues and badges. Why your kin had the wrong skin, what made him look familiar, vague descriptions. This is my period poem. The end of a sentence, a black menace, worse than a kid named Dennis. Statistics, I vastly diminish, a beast to say the least. Onlookers upset because I literally have gold running through me. Melanin problems. While we running through Kleenex, while we running through Kleenex, y'all running around in bed sheets. I'm not sorry if that's too much for your ears. Melanin lacking individuals, stealing and raping our peers, stealing kids just to harvest organ. Another funeral anthem on a church organ, and it's just sad. I saw a video of a girl losing her dad. Bullet straight in the body because he did what he was asked. Another black body in a black bag. I saw another video of a boy on his knees screaming, please. And it brought tears to my eyes. Another beautiful soul brought to his demise. See, we are bleeding, dripping red blood and rage eyes. Young people trapped in a system. Cycle, trapped in a cycle. Circle. Hands up, face down, still end up with circles in our bodies. Like, please, sir. I just want to leave. Who knew me being black and breathing was so offending? Oh, look, our culture is still trending. Long braids and big booties. If we're not together, then who are we defending? I know these words, they're a little unhinging, but this is my period poem. Heavy truth flows and pain pill cocktails. I can't wait for the moment of post-menopause or when being different is considered a probable cause because ain't a sanitary pad around that can hold that. Free.
Oh. And this is why we need to continue to pour into our younger poets because of this. There's no way that you could not Do you know what this is going to look like in 5 years? Do you know what this poet is going to look like in 5 years?
July. It's gonna be a good time.
Oh man, this is why we have to make sure that our younger generation is loved on, is supported, is encouraged, because this is the healing that they need as well. Because what she's talking about is something that at 25, you shouldn't have to feel that. You shouldn't have to look at your life and talk about these type of topics, not at 25. And so this is where the therapy comes in. So at 35, she's good. At 35, she's stable because we have done the work for those earlier years. There wasn't no work done over here. So I'm getting it now. That healing is coming now. So that's the transition that we're into as a just a Black community in whole, not just Houston, but on social media. It's healing power. How can I get over the childhood trauma? How can I leave that traumatized child back there? How can I heal that baby? You get what I'm saying? And so it starts from us loving on the poets from small, encouraging the creativity from small. You get what I'm saying? Making sure that we are making other people feel safe to be vulnerable. I'm afraid. I'm afraid for my Black men. I'm afraid for my kids. I'm afraid for my community. And I can say that. And if we don't love on our women, if we don't love on our young poets, then they won't feel safe enough when they're 30. And when they become parents, they won't feel safe enough. They won't know how to love on their kids if we have not shown them.
I do want to say this. I know for me, I do want to add to this. I feel like even though it may be like a trend-based thing, I do love to see like everybody within my age group, or even like with my younger siblings and stuff like that, and my cousins, they're so driven to heal. They're so driven to like break a generational curse, to figure out the root of the issue. And I can say I can really appreciate that atmosphere growing up, especially coming from a space and coming from a mother who's not necessarily the most feminine of all those things. So having to go back and basically relearn, like, it's okay to be soft with yourself so you can be soft with others. And also still be stern within the things that you want for yourself. I feel like that's definitely where I'm at right now, is having to go back and really like tend to those things, because me and my mama don't hug like that. Like I love her, that's my boo. Like we dap it up, we get it, but that's just not really, you know, our relationship. And I've seen how that has affected how I show care, not necessarily just with people that I'm dating, but just people that I care about in general. So I feel like within me writing, even though I'm relatable and I'm keeping it on a complacent level, it still allows me to dig in some depth of emotion to show like, oh, I'm not just what's the word? I'm not as dry, for lack of better words. I'm not as dry as I come across. But before I leave as well, I gotta plug myself. Y'all check me out. I host 3 nights a week. I got shows almost every week. I got merch, different stuff. If you're looking to see what my merch is like, check me out on Instagram, free.k._. Thank you.
Oh, I'm gonna say this from the crowd before you go. I'm looking at the shirt. So what does the free K stand for?
So free K is for free knowledge. So initially when I first had the name, I'm gonna just keep it short. When I first started, my name was Free. I got the name Free from dancing, actually. A lot of people don't know that I used to do choreography real heavy, like hip hop. If think about Missy Elliott videos, that's the kind of stuff I was doing. And then I got back into doing poetry at TSU because of Self and Kodak. They started doing this thing on campus. And I was like, you know, I hadn't really done poetry like that to begin with. I had just started in high school as far as doing it publicly. And I was like, well, let me give it another go. And I got a better response this time around. And as time went on, it turned into Free, but the K is silent. And I was like, well, how can I make this more marketable to a whole collective crowd? And I'm like, what word has a silent K in it? Knowledge, free knowledge. And so we're here now. With everything. And I also have like a separate thing that I'm segueing into called But I'm Free Though. I developed it like 5 years ago. I just haven't really like gotten into it yet, but basically it's just a promotion of free speech, being comfortable within itself. Basically, what am I, X or Z? What is
a Generation Z?
A Gen Z version of Forget Them Kids, but for yourself, you know, but for yourself. So yeah, I appreciate y'all so much for having me.
Absolutely.
On the show. I'm gonna talk at y'all, you know.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And pleasure meeting you. I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
We'll definitely be talking. Man, so that was Free K, y'all. That was Free K. Amazing poem. And it's amazing for me to see the intentionality of you saying you developed something 5 years ago and bringing it back full circle. That's important. And then also with the name, let me view these comments really quick, see if there's something we want to address. First time I heard Free was at Puff Puff Poetry event. I was beyond taken back. She hit so many different, she hits so different than many others. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I can definitely tell.
I remember her.
Miss Lopez, thank you for tuning in. We definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And my baby Jay, she's saying awesome. So I can understand. And I actually had to go and check out her page and follow her for a little bit when you say she was coming, because I'm like, man, this is somebody I've been wanting to meet. So definitely appreciate you being here. We're definitely going to connect. So in sake of time, wrapping some things up, wanted to just give you an opportunity to speak on anything, any last thoughts, anything that you want to share, and then I'll be closing us out. Are you doing anything?
Yeah, I want to close myself.
Okay, absolutely.
I do want to share something. So one thing that I've started, I've done 2 of these women's conferences for women who are out here. I don't care how old you are, 18 plus. Make sure before the year ends, before 2022 ends, you get yourself into a women's conference. You need sisterhood. Sisterhood is so necessary in our development, in our womanhood. If you are out here saying, oh, I don't have women friends and I don't get along with women, check yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You need it. You need to be empowered, and can't nobody love on you like your sister.
Yeah.
You understand? And once you have a different relationship with sisterhood, the idea of sisterhood, you're going to see how the universe just pours people into your life that send you women who will love on you, who will support your vision, who will support your drive, your hustle. Make sure you get into a women's group, a sister circle, a women's conference, anything where there is a collection of women together who are intentionally loving on each other. And if you attend one and you don't have a good experience, make sure you go to another one. You understand? It is necessary for you to connect, not just to network on a business aspect, but to network emotionally. I promise you need it.
Yeah.
I promise you that you need it. You need to hug a woman. You need to love on a woman. You need to hold hands on a woman. You need to tell a woman that she's beautiful. You need to hear a woman tell you that you're beautiful. It is necessary. It is vital to our growth. So make sure you are loving on yourself in that capacity. And if you go to a women's group, there's one that I just did with Ashley Williams, who does Fit Fly Flow. You can follow her on Instagram under that handle, Fit Fly Flow. I just did some poetry for her, and I sat in with these women. We saged and loved and healed and encouraged and supported. I promise you that you will come out a better woman, a better human being, a better mom, a better person once you invest in loving on yourself and allowing is important.
Yeah.
Allowing other women to love on you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't know how to receive love.
Yeah.
You don't know how to receive the compliments you get. You start feeling uncomfortable when someone tells you how great you are.
Yeah.
And so once you go to these women's circles and conferences, you'll become comfortable with being loved on.
Yeah.
It feels unfamiliar because maybe you've been going your whole life without being loved on the way you should be as a woman. But you get into these circles where women need it, when they're crying out for love and affection and attention, it empowers our love language, and it becomes easier to teach people how to treat you as a woman, as a mama, as an artist, as an entrepreneur. You get to teach people how to treat you once you start pouring and loving on yourself. Start by attending a sister circle, women's conference, or a women's group.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I encourage it too, man.
Absolutely.
That's strong. And I left this comment up here on purpose. This is my cousin. What's up, Cherie? I'm glad to know you watching. She's the owner of Honey Beyond Studios. So I'll just make a quick plug and say, if y'all want to put something together over at Honey Beyond Studios, definitely have the space to do that. So I'm throwing that out there because catch it, do something with it. But this is Women's History Month, and it's important, that yourself, everybody, just come together as women, and just love on each other, like you said. That's a huge thing for us to do. And before we go, I have an announcement I'm gonna make, but we want to bring up back Voice of the Black Sheep. She wants to make a couple of announcements for the sake of time. We want to go ahead and do that right now. Go ahead on. No problem, cuz. Bring her back in.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, look, that was go out whooping my behind. I can't do it if them kids, y'all. I can't do it today.
You can change it.
It was no, I can't. It ain't gonna hit right. It's not gonna rhyme or hit right. Yeah. So I'm not gonna do that. That was the Lord. But since it's Women's Month, I'm gonna plug myself real quick and I'm gonna do a poem. I'm a healer. I'm a safe space healer. I believe in creating spaces where people feel that they are not alone and they can speak. Every other Sunday in Mo City Bar and Grill from 6 to 7:30, I hold a open space mic for people who just need to vent or people who just need to hear and relate. It is always open for all who feel and compelled to speak. This poem I'm gonna say because it's Women's Month.
Right.
As a woman, I suffer with image issues with my body. It took me a long time to accept my image, but it took me hearing negative things to just go ahead and say, you know what, I'm gonna own it and be me. So this is a trigger warning for everyone. The name of this poem is called Royal Tough. Your face is too big, your mouth is too wide, your hair is too nappy, girl. Use that bang so that forehead can hide. Your face is too round, your chins, you have two. Your neck is hidden, girl, and you got chin hairs too. Yeah, them breasts be too long. You need to pick that up, and while you at it, get that stomach tucked. Your waist is gone and you have no ass. Got the nerve to want to twerk, walk, and strut with class. Them legs look like pistols and them knees be cocked. Don't let me get on them boomerang feet and them no matching socks. These are some of the things that I've heard about my womanly God-gifted figure. And to top it off, they be telling me I'm a ugly monkey looking nigga. They tell me being dark should make me envy. I should add more features and tone down the queen within me. They tell me I'm too loud when I'm simply just talking. Swear I want attention because sometimes men be looking when I'm walking. I show off these breasts because I feed life and I strut with no ass because there's more to being a wife. I am beautiful and I am black and I am a woman and I got the world on my back, and the things you say show how intimidating I am because even with this C-section fupa, y'all, I still be killing it, goddamn. A real king admires beauty and appreciates class. Trust me, he'll overlook chin hairs and no ass. He sees the radiance you give off when you come around. He sees that you are worthy and you deserve a crown. You are beautiful, you are black, and queen, you are enough. So when you hear those ugly, negative things, remember you are made royal tough.
Yeah.
And you can also follow me at the Voice of the Black Sheep for more bald head poetic shit.
You're so crazy. Thank you. Absolutely, man. Voice of the Black Sheep. She is definitely dope within her own right. And I know a lot of people can relate, and she's that person that's going to give you that information that a lot of us are scared to say. Most of us are thinking, and she's just going to speak for it. So cuz say she was waiting for that one. Absolutely. So guys, we appreciate this show today. I appreciate you bringing your crew is what I say, the queens with you. And, we appreciate you just as a person and all the things that you're doing.
Thank
you. Let me get this off screen. Want everybody to connect, collaborate, buy some canvases. That's the main thing, get that thing going. Look forward to the book that you have coming out, which is the Other Side of Motherhood poetry collection. I can't wait on that because there's a couple of ladies I definitely want to get that for. And we'll definitely do that. This platform is here for you. Anytime you have something you want me to shout out, just let me know and we'll put that up. And I'm just happy about the way this went. This has definitely been a great kickoff for Women's History Month.
Absolutely.
And you guys tune in. So another thing that I wanted to really cover, and this is actually kind of like plugging myself, but in this past November, I started a mental health and wellness podcast, right? And it's all about us making mental health and wellness a standard in our community, because a lot of men, we don't want to talk to nobody. You know, we feel like everything's okay. Women, y'all are dealing with a lot of things, and sometimes shame or, you know, embarrassment, like you said, can keep us away from it. But we want to make those conversations real. And right now, we're actually talking about relationships, you know, and with you and G being a married couple and how all that thing went. If y'all are able to join us either this week or next week, it's every Thursday. I want to make sure everybody knows about the mental health and wellness podcast that I started. It's called The Mind Matters, you know, and there's actually a meaning behind it. And we use the mind, right? We actually plug DA Mind Matters, The Mind Matters. And if you watch our very first show, we tell you why we went with that. I do the show with, shout out to my crew, David Manning and Rashida P. Ron, Dr. P. She's a licensed clinical therapy. A licensed clinical psychologist for the last 20 plus years. David is a licensed therapist for the last 10 plus years. And so they come from the professional side. And then also I come from having the experience with the podcast, helping to run it. And I come from the layman side, not being a professional, but we also give professional advice, and we also give our personal opinions about things, and we talk about conversations that are just relevant and definitely necessary within our community. And it is catered to our Black skin, absolutely, and we're not ashamed about that. We want that to be a regular within our community and help people understand that. So you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Tune in tonight. We'll be having a great show tonight, 6:30 until 6:30 to 8 is probably the time that we'll be running. But tonight is about relationships. We've ended up doing a 4-week series because in February, you know, it's a love month. You know, it's Valentine's Day. So we decided to talk about relationships and how they affect us. And it's about, what is love? You know, is love real or is love transactional? So the things that y'all were speaking on, and Free K talking about how the youth today, they're more open to healing. You know, that's what we really want to highlight. You know, we are glad when we see our young individuals really wanting to heal, really want to understand, really want to put your past behind you, because that's when you grow. Until you be honest with yourself, you can't make any steps forward. So you guys tune into the Mind Matters podcast. Shout out to my crew. And if we can get you and G to come on, whether it's virtual or either show up, right off of 610 is where we're at. So guys, thank you again.
Thank you.
She's so cold. Absolutely. Let me take this down. I want you guys to follow her. And then again, you can say any last words. I know you spoke a couple times, but if there's anything else you want to say before we go.
I think I gave everything that I had today. I think I gave everything that I was supposed to give today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So She's So Cold. You can follow her. She_so_Cole on all platforms. And you guys get connected, man. Again, thank you, Queen. Appreciate you being here and looking forward to all the amazing things that's coming up. So this has been the Reach Podcast Show with LeVar Ellis and my co-host, She's So Cold. And we'll be back next week with another amazing guest. You guys tune in next week, man. Another amazing queen opening the first Black-owned mall here in the city of Houston. And you guys don't want to miss that show. So big shouts out to that guest. I ain't even going to say the name right now. Y'all stay tuned for the show for next week. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Absolutely.